Well, now on When I'm Not Podcasting, I need to go ahead, as the king of podcasts here, I have to go and talk about Clubhouse. I finally got a chance to get my hands on the app. Now that it got expanded to Android users, it didn't take much time for someone in my circles to go ahead and send me a way to go ahead and access the app so I can go and take a look at it for myself. I want to give some comments on it, but first I want to talk about the fact that Clubhouse now has expanded to Android users, so people are starting to get on it now. And during a town hall on Sunday, the audio-only social platform announced the rollout for their Android app, and that other English-speaking markets, as soon as the rest of the world, will be able to experience Clubhouse on Android in the coming weeks. So I've gotten into this, and I looked at it. It's a clean setup, okay? It is set up so that if you want to get on there and you want to start a room, you can. For me, the way it feels, it's not radio. What it feels like more is where people don't want to go ahead and be all fixed up and dolled up to go ahead and do any networking or to do any events on Zoom. People are tired of that. To take away all that necessary clutter and to make it very easy for people to go ahead and listen to something on an app. There's a lot of different chat rooms there. That's good. And there's a variety of things to talk about. There's obviously some new rooms that can be opened up with more content. That's obviously what's coming on down the line. Just for the content I do, when it comes to media or when it comes to wrestling or when it comes to other content, I would love to be a part of that. Cannabis has really jumped in there, with both both feet in. They've taken it all the way in. So there's a number of different rooms that I see myself in now. And also I have to worry about how many people did you follow and the rooms that they're associated with as well. For me, to look for live rooms and to find programming that will work for what I'm looking for, I like the fact that you can still listen to it even though the app might be dormant and you might have the phone not on, you'd have it in a sleep mode and will continue to play. It's very clear. I like the fact that it is forcing people, if they're using their phones, if they're using data and they're actually getting on the line, it's going to sound pretty good. It's actually going to be pretty clear as well for most people on the line. So that part is very good. You're actually getting good quality audio because also the audio itself is pretty CD quality. It's very high clear, pretty high def. And it doesn't sound like it takes up a whole lot of bandwidth either, which is even better. So the platform is good. The makeup, the hardware, the whole building, the infrastructure of it, it's pretty clear. It's pretty good. My only issue is that I wasn't really overwhelmed by the content that's on there and what's being done. What people need to realize, it's really not radio if you haven't been on there yet. Or if you've really been on there, I don't feel like it's what radio is. And now when I think about it, I don't think this is anything that could truly compete with radio. Social audio in this sense doesn't feel like it would be anything that would be missing. What I feel this is like, more than anything else, is that this is a way of doing what we do in conventions, where we do our panels or educational sessions or just panels themselves. This is what we're getting right now. This is a virtual panel in a pretty nice format, and you can have people go and raise hands. It is done like a convention, like a conference, and that's okay. So in the consumer sense, if you go to a Comic-Con, it's very much like that. If you're going to any event, pick it, CES or ASD Market Week, or in the cannabis space as MJ Biz, then that's what you're doing there. It's really what that is, and it's very impromptu. Or some of them are scheduled, and people really find a good way to interact and network. It's a great networking platform, but they want to make it so that it is for many consumers to get a part of it and be a part of. But it's obviously the business side that's really taking on this the most. Like I saw some stuff on dating relationships. I saw some things on crypto and stock market, which was really interesting. I don't know if I'm into the conversations where I can be on it. I feel like you can't really just jump right in and follow along, which is what radio normally has. It doesn't have that part of the equation, unless somebody's figuring out how to do that. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think what I hear from everybody is they're running it like a conference. Like if you're running into the session, then you're just going to be caught up and say, okay, I'm missing the session a little bit. I'll catch up. But you'll know what the content is. You'll see who's speaking, and you can just kind of follow along from there. But it is best if you try to get there early to get to the event so you can actually catch it. Because it's not something where this content is ready for you to go ahead and come back in and follow along. Now, if Clubhouse comes down the line and offers it on demand, but that should be a premium offer if they're going to do that. But here, it's not a bad thing. And I think there's going to be a drop-off in adoption anyway. Now, they talked about, there was a lot of stories that came out last couple of days about they had Clubhouse getting the Android app out as the iPhone downloads plunge. Well, you got who you're going to get. 12 million users? That's pretty good. After that, I think you're going to have a little bit of a settling of who's going to be in there or not. So if they add the Android users, put that over 20 million, up to 30 million, that's a pretty good platform. So you have that. And then you also have reason for people to go and come on board and use it. Now, I think what's going to happen as well is that some of the appeal that we had where Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, or if I saw like certain celebrities that are on Clubhouse, they get on there and they start doing things, that's one thing. You can see Clubhouse being used so that an audience can come on board, but they're going to want to see them on video. Let's say if it's a musician or something like that, then you want to have that person on video. You can be able to see them. If it's on TikTok, you're going to watch them on the TikTok Live, Instagram Live, and so on and so forth. And that's okay. There is a lane for Clubhouse to succeed. And the same thing goes for Twitter and Facebook. To add the audio component is not a bad thing. Though what they also need to do is people just need to realize how they can go and record some of this content. It's really accessibility and it's really flexibility that makes Clubhouse such an appealing idea, because you don't have to fix yourself up. You really don't have to time anything. You just know what you're going to talk about. You'll have other people to talk about, so you're not having to control the whole conversation. You'll have all these different voices to be on board to talk in a roundtable format, because that's ultimately what you're getting is a roundtable format, and you put that together. I just think there's certain things that can be done. I'd love to get a wrestling Clubhouse up and going. I don't think there's some of the wrestling audience that's out there. But if any of you are listening and want to be involved in a Clubhouse, I would love to go ahead and do that with you. Just hit me up, kingofpodcasts@yahoo.com, or look for me at King of Podcasts, wherever you find me. You can also find me on Clubhouse at King of Podcasts. As a matter of fact, if you want to find me there, please do. And we'll take it from there. So it's not, I was feeling like I was going to be a little critical of it, and I'm not. I just felt like, what is social audio going to do and how big a deal is it going to be? It has room in the space to be something. And that's good. It's an improvement from Periscope, because Twitter now has Twitter Spaces. Same thing goes. Where Periscope is one thing, but I think having this format here is good. And if Twitter could have kept the single person hosting, that would have been probably fine too. But that would take away from the streaming audio that's out there that people can go and listen to on a regular basis. But if you're going to do it anyway, you want to put it on video. And for me, I'll just put it on video just with a slate on there just to make it good like that. So I could appreciate what this intends to do and how this is going to work. I think as a B2B, business-to-business platform, it works very well. But I'd like to see what's going to come from it. I don't think we need to have this where professionals or any podcasters really need to come into the space. Like for myself, I don't know if I would really, unless I can get something together. Like I know what to do with this format if I want to do it, but I would need to see if I can get the kind of congregation together, the people that will want to be involved in the conversation, and then get an audience to watch it or listen to it, excuse me. That will be a different story. And also it's interesting where you're not getting a chat room, which I love that part actually more than anything else. You get just actual interaction, verbal interaction. Everything is voice. That, I think, is a really good thing. Because having everybody to go and read through it, people want accessibility, flexibility, not just as the presenters, not just as the people presenting on a panel, not just for the followers. You want to have it for the followers, and you want to have it for those that are in the audience, in the peanut gallery, listening in. If they want to hear radio, they want to hear some audio content, this is a great place to go. This, for me, would be if I had nothing on YouTube to watch, if I wasn't really interested in any music, and I didn't have any Audible books to listen to right now. This is a good backup. Like I could see where Clubhouse would be, okay, I want to hear some voices. I want to hear them talk about something. Let me hear what they're saying. It's really in the same vein as a Discord chat as I think about it. I feel like this is what Discord would be or other ones out there. So that's a good thing. And I'd like to find out what kind of events can be put up there. And when will be the next big event that will happen? And what kind of a capacity can Clubhouse withstand if something big happened? If a celebrity went on there, some experimentations can be done on Clubhouse pretty soon, I would imagine. I'd like to see how that works out. So I will continue to be cautiously optimistic about this and see how it works. But I think for radio people, for podcasters, I don't think this is anything that's going to step in the lane. But what I can think of is that this could be used, and what's going to happen is on the Cannabis Radio Network, I'm going to have to start using the contents from here and try to record it so that people can go ahead and listen to it themselves, and they can take away what's on the content there, and they can say, okay, we can record this, we can repurpose it, which is what I'm going to have to do on the Cannabis Radio side. That's what we're looking at right now. And I'm going to have to play with that and see how that works out. Because, again, you need to make sure that the phone's got a lot of battery. You can get the right connection in, and I can get my laptop to go ahead and cooperate by putting in a headphone jack, which I can do on an Android phone. By the way, that's another thing that's got to be considered. For people to go ahead and record, you have to get a dongle that you have to go and buy on Amazon in order to record from phone to a device to record onto. Because you can't record necessarily on a screenshot. I mean, I guess you could, but that's just too much trouble. For the Android users, we all have headphone jacks on our phones. So for me, it should be easy for me to go ahead and plug in a headphone jack into my phone, into the laptop, or into a computer desktop, and do that and see how it'll work. But I think it's going to be able to work out fine. I'm going to have to test and tinker with it. And I'll come back to you with an update if there's anything important to go and talk about with that. Until then, stick around for another When I'm Not Podcasting, and I'll talk to you next time.